Greetings, everyone. Joseph Kursky here. Today, I would like to speak with you about why and how to use GIS as a part of international baccalaureate or IB programs. Joining me is Mark Epstein of the California Environmental Technology Education Network. Shortly before the COVID pandemic, the international baccalaureate programs in Belgium adopted the use of ArcGIS Online as an important component of its program. This action has been followed by other IB programs in Europe.
The big benefit of using ArcGIS Online in the IB programs is it enhances instructional strategies and philosophy of IB. It does that as a tool to acquire geographic data, analyze the data, and present the data. The ArcGIS Online system fits very well to meet the student needs and progress both in the IB middle years and diploma programs. This can be applied across the IB curriculum, not just IB geography.
GIS has as its primary goal to improve decision making in health, transportation, city planning, natural resource management, energy, public safety, and in many other disciplines by combining smart maps, spatial analysis, and spatial thinking. Modern GIS allows the user to go beyond stagnant, static maps and use the data interactively in the form of web maps, web mapping applications, and field tools. Through modern GIS, maps are becoming the language of the planet to communicate and to solve problems. GIS encourages students to think spatially, to think critically, to develop data fluency, to solve problems, to connect with real issues, and to empower them, yes, empower them to become change agents in society, change agents. You've all seen this JHU COVID dashboard, and for good reason. It's very useful. People use it to make daily decisions. You've all used fitness apps or used mapping tools to navigate to the public library, across campus, or to a friend's house. You've all examined real-time weather or wildfires maps. Why? Because these maps and data sets are useful in your everyday lives. These are examples of modern web-based GIS in action. Mark, in your experience with students in K-12, how has the ArcGIS system improved student success in learning?
When I entered education, I was primarily teaching earth science. I considered the purpose of teaching earth science was for students to understand the interactions of various earth systems. GIS does an excellent job of this as providing the ability for students to visualize different systems in a variety of ways and different scales. With the interactivity of ArcGIS Online, students can change how data appears in different map layers and different data layer combinations, improving the meaning of the data and asking questions. The nature of ArcGIS Online, with the immediate ability to change the appearance on the screen, increases student engagement in the topic. The ArcGIS Online system also allows students to present their data and digital maps in a variety of formats that integrate well with other electronic media tools, improving their communication skills. We have a program called the Teenage Geospatial Action Program that has allowed many students the opportunity to work in the community to collect data, process that data, and present that data as part of projects in partnership with community organizations for the benefit of the community.
Mark is touching on what I believe to be the core elements that are essential to success with GIS in education. Now, why are educators interested in using GIS in their classrooms? We touched a bit on this earlier, but to summarize, engaged students, students that care, students as scientists, problem-based learning, working with professional tools. These tools are used in the professional workplace. Connection to community issues and people. Field work, geoliteracy. Think of geoliteracy as a three-legged stool that includes content, skills, and perspectives. Using GIS in education is never just about the skills or the buttons. Eighth, communication. Your students can communicate the results of their investigations with these maps and tools. And ninth, geographic and scientific inquiry. GIS has been and always will be a thinker's tool. The most important tool in the GIS toolset is not buffering, overlay, or geocoding, or anything else that we do inside a GIS, but rather your brain, the student's brain. That is the most important tool of all.
The use of GIS can enhance student understanding of core IB content as related to geographic themes, including fresh water, oceans and coastal margins, extreme environments, geophysical hazards, leisure, tourism and sport, food and health, and urban environments.
Let's look more specifically at 3 ways in which GIS can be used with some demonstrations. First, to teach content. Here are a few story maps that feature in-depth content. Hot numbers about climate change. Investigating the Titanic, where it sailed, who was on board, where they were from, first class, second class, third class, where it sank, etc. Spatial thinking about a historical event. Now, both of these, the hot numbers climate change story map and the Titanic story map, are content rich, would you not agree? Compelling stories that are enriched by maps and visualizations. Maps have been used to tell stories for thousands of years. No different nowadays, folks, but now we've got this, and you have this rich, interactive set of maps and data to teach with, to investigate problems, issues, concerns, as well as historical events. Using GIS can aid in teaching the following 3 areas, just as 3 examples: population demographics and population change, ecoregions, mean annual precipitation, landforms, and how those 3 things interact, natural hazards, earthquakes in 2D and 3D. What about GIS as a research tool? For inquiry and greater analysis, students will be looking to compare data layers. This can be done in the ArcGIS Online Map Viewer. The Map Viewer accesses about 2 million data layers that students can display and can compare to develop conclusions. Here's an example showing wildfires and population density. Beyond the layers that are available, students can import data from other websites, or they can collect and create data in spreadsheets once properly formatted. ArcGIS Online also has the ability to set up a data collection survey that can be used to collect through crowdsourcing or actual physical collection and record on their smartphones, including data in the field, tree species, historical homes, noise, public art, litter, water quality, plus images taken at those collection sites. Let's look briefly at student work with GIS. Here are a few of my favorites. First of all, the Silverdale Baptist Academy UAV story map from a student in Tennessee. I love how this student integrated UAVs that the student actually flew, or drones, and created a web map of the campus from that data, interacted with the campus facility managers because they needed that data as well. It's a very nice integration of a variety of different tools. This middle school student created this story map to analyze what's the problem of these right whales dying, why should we care? And also, I really like how the student integrated maps, images, did some research, and at the end, this relates to the geographic inquiry process, the student actually presented why this actually matters, and here is a solution. A lot of these whales were getting trapped in lobster nets. How can we redesign these nets so that the whales wouldn't get trapped in them? I love that. And finally, this student's map from an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in Minnesota is a very effective use of spatial analysis tools and story maps. Again, a real world problem, a real issue, a community issue, and the students were grappling with it and engaged with solving a problem. Mark, I know that you have worked with students for many years as well, and that you've got good examples to share with us as well.
The first is from a couple of middle school students on a project working with a member of the Sacramento City Council that they submitted and won first place in the California Story Map competition. Here they were looking at a commercial corridor that has been deteriorating. They conducted a survey of the conditions in this corridor of the various commercial centers, and using that information made recommendations on a number of sites to be converted to affordable multi-residential housing. The second is a project with the California State Parks North Coast District to create an interactive map of the trail system to include interpretation of identified locations along the trail. This web application has been linked to the park website. We see that the ArcGIS Online system enables students to create a number of different types of digital map products and discussed how this technology relates to IB instruction.
ArcGIS is a family of GIS software that includes ArcGIS Online, developed by ESRI, which is the organization I serve under as education manager. Well, what's ESRI and what are our primary three goals? Our three goals are education, sustainability, and science. ESRI software is used around the world in a variety of professions, including education, public safety, natural resources, city planning, and many others I mentioned earlier. The advantages of ArcGIS Online is that it is substantial in capabilities and is a stable infrastructure. It will be here in the future. Millions of people depend on it. It's supported by free software with a community of users and GIS professionals and geo mentors. In other words, you are not in this alone. You are not in this alone. Mark, let me ask you, from your work with students and the teachers, what tools seem to be the most utilized?
I would say the tool most used by students is the map viewer in order to access data layers. I would say students' second most function is the on-screen digitizing to draw lines and areas. Teachers, in particular science teachers, like having the students create data with specific location of latitude and longitude in spreadsheets and import that data into the map. The express story maps. This has become a tool that teachers like to integrate geography with writing. The ease of use in utilizing the story maps has greatly increased the applicability for students to use ArcGIS Online to create presentations.
That is excellent, Mark. To begin, including the use of ArcGIS Online into IB programs should be an easy task. If you need assistance, ESRI helps support a network of mentors like Mark, along with many other resources, some of which we've detailed here. But we just invite you to start on that pathway of using these interactive map-based tools to foster teaching and learning. Well, thank you, Mark, for sharing with us today. I trust the listeners will be inspired to pursue at least some of what we've discussed, and we encourage you to do so, and we are here to support you.